Well, joining us now from London is Elijah Glantz. He's a research fellow for the Organised Crime and Policing team at the Royal United Services Institute. Really good to have you with us, sir. We know one of the major concerns in the wake of the killing of Mencho is exactly who might take his place in his drug cartel. We know in the past when other drug kingpins have been killed, like El Chapo, there's been a fierce fight for control of that gang or cartel. What are you expecting? Are you expecting more violence and bloodshed?
Well, thank you very much for having me, and you're spot on. It's almost a likelihood that things will get better, will get worse at some point before they get better. El Mencho had his meteoric rise over the last 16 years to the head of one of Mexico's largest cartels because of the vacuum that was left during previous kingpin removals. So as the cartel and rivals or internal members of the cartel start to see or start to wonder what comes next for the cartel in Jalisco, there may be questions, and these questions may be played out through violence.
There are also questions about the Trump administration's role in all this. We know Mexican officials have said that U.S. intelligence was used to aid Mexican forces in their killing of El Mencho. How involved do you think was the U.S. in this operation and in operations going forward, given that Donald Trump has made it quite clear that he's looking to clamp down on the illicit drug trade in South America?
There's no doubt, and we saw the communication from the White House, that this was a welcome move by the Mexican government. But the information that has come out since the raid that killed El Mencho has demonstrated that a lot of the intelligence seems to have been of Mexican government origin. They seem to have been tracking a romantic partner, seems to be the initial lead on how it came to be. What material, the exact intelligence provided by the Americans is not yet clear, but it is easy to overstate their involvement. El Mencho and the cartel in Jalisco have been targets of the Mexican government for well over a decade. So it's very possible that this was a Mexican-led operation that happened to serve both their interests and those of America and President Trump.
And what will the illicit drug trade look like going forward, both in Latin and South America, do you think? Given that Donald Trump has made it quite clear that he's prepared to go to great lengths in order to eradicate the drug trade, do you see other nations like Colombia, for example, perhaps being worried about appearing to not do enough to tackle the drug trade in their country?
I think that's a question that can be answered on two fronts. First, you are absolutely right. There may be an element where they feel like there's pressure from, say, the United States to act and to do these kingpin-style strategies. But in terms of what the effect is on the drug trade, this is something that we study extensively at RUSI and elsewhere. The effect of kingpin removals rarely has a meaningful effect, if any effect, on reducing drug harms. So in terms of a political or a tactical victory, this is certainly a tactical victory for the Mexican army and a political victory in the United States. But in terms of will it make Mexican people safer? Will it reduce the amount of violence and drugs that reaches the United States? Well, the jury is very much out, but if history is any guide, then the answer is most likely no.
Okay, Elijah Glantz, we'll have to leave it there. Great to get your thoughts. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me.